Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Dr. Sri Kadarwati, MSc, as the lecturer in charge of the English language course. We are from Group 1 Chemistry Education Study Program 5B. This time we will present about developing critical thinking skill using the science writing heuristic in the chemistry laboratory. But first, allow me to introduce the member of the Group 1. The first is Jenia Dwi Saputri with number 10. The second is Hana Pratiwi Yulianto with number 30. And the last is Rizky Nurwahida with number 43. First, I would like to present the abstract. The study employed a quasi-experimental approach involving matched group to assess the variance in critical thinking skills between first-year general chemistry students instructed using the SWH approach and those receiving traditional laboratory instruction or TRID. Evaluation was conducted using the California Critical Thinking Skill Test or CCTST to measure critical thinking abilities. The findings revealed that students in the SWH group exhibited significantly higher overall critical thinking score compared to their counterparts in the traditional group. The underscore the effectiveness of SWH approach in enhancing students' critical thinking skill over the traditional method. The next one is introduction. The topic to be discussed are 21st century skills, the importance of critical thinking, about the investigation of the heuristic scientific writing method or SWH, and the last one is critical thinking and the heuristic scientific writing method or SWH. The 21 critical thinking skills are essential to mastering jobs, regardless of sector or skill level. These skills include written and oral communication, teamwork, problem solving, time management, and critical thinking. Unlike job-specific skills that lose their relevance when transitioning to very different roles, transferable skills remain as relevant across different fields or careers. Focusing on the transferable skills has significant economic consequences, impacting productivity and job creation. Critical thinking is considered essential in navigating an increasingly dynamic and complex world. As society becomes technologically complex and information-rich, demand increases for individuals who are able to critically analyze information and creatively use it to solve real-world problems. Surprising those who focus solely on mechanism memory-based tasks. A number of universities, such as the University of West Indies, recognize critical thinking as an important skill for graduates. Employers also identify critical thinking as critical to workplace effectiveness, yet a significant percentage of graduates are found to lack this skill, which impact their readiness for employment. The SWH method encourages students to develop questions, collect and interpret data, make claims supported by evidence. This process involves assessing the quality of ideas, checking assumptions, and articulating reasoning using analytical and evaluative skills. Collaborative activity encourages reflection, fostering association between concepts. Writing in SWH emphasizes rich conceptual understanding rather than rote, requiring coherence and high-quality argumentation. Laboratory sessions involve dialogue that encourage critical thinking and negotiation among students and experts. Skill analysis, interpretation, and explanation are essential during the question generation on the data interpretation stage. Generating claims requires inferential, analytical, and interpretative skills. Students articulate logical explanation to support the evidence. Honing analytical, evaluative, and interpretative skills. Reflection reading involves articulating understanding during logical and inferential and deductive skills in 6 sentences. Research links the element of SWH, writing, inquiry, collaboration, and reflection with improved critical thinking. Studies show significant improvement in critical thinking among students who engage in writing. Approaches involving practicum and inquiry improve critical thinking skills, as did reflection and collaboration. SWH has shown a relationship with critical thinking. Studies comparing students exposed to SWH with traditional environments showed an increase in critical thinking ability among SWH group, albeit with a modest effect size. Gupta observed higher level of the critical thinking in students utilizing SWH, which increased throughout the semester. Published research on the impact of SWH on critical thinking in chemistry is limited. The study aims to fill the gap by comparing critical thinking skills between SWH and traditional laboratory settings to address the importance of critical thinking in higher education success and the need for potential intervention for students lacking in this skill.
Next, we turn to the research methodology. In research method, there are 7 topics, namely research design, participant, procedures, implementation of the SWH, approach, traditional laboratory format, data collection, and data analysis. Let's go straight to the first discussion. The first is about research design. On the research design, use quasi-experimental pretest and post-test to assess the difference in the level of critical thinking between SWH and trade students. However, there are also challenges in using this quasi-experimental design, namely challenges to external and internal validity according to Sedis, Cook, and Campbell 2002. Of course, these challenges can be minimized with the use of valid tools such as CCTST and with group methods. In addition, the post-test is minimized by the time difference between the pretest and post-test. Students and administrators also did not have access to the answer placed on the CCTST form 2000. And then, number 2 is the participants. Participants in the study were chemistry students in their first year of a 3-year undergraduate program. We have taken laboratory course in 2 semesters using the SWH approach. The SWH group consists of 42 students, 26 female and 16 male. The 42 students select were those who had received laboratory courses using the traditional model and had taken the CCTST pretest and post-test. 209 study participants were paired with SWH group participants based on their critical thinking pretest course and gender, so that in the measurement, the 2 groups can be equivalent. Next, in the procedure section, the study was conducted over 2 semesters or 24 weeks into chemistry course at the University of the Caribbean. Each course includes 3 2-hour lecture sections, 2 1-hour tutorial sessions, and 1 4-hour laboratory session each week. There are 10 laboratory sessions over 12 weeks each semester. In each semester, the SWH approach is applied in 2 of the 10 sessions, while the other 8 sessions use the traditional approach. Each session can accommodate 54 students, supervised by a lecturer or research student who is assisted by 3 teaching assistants. Each time of teaching assistants remains at the same laboratory session for a full semester. The teaching assistants are responsible for assisting students during the laboratory session, as well as grading the laboratory reports. Teaching assistants who assist in SWH session also assist in trade sessions. Okay, next is the implementation of the SWH approach. In the first laboratory session, students were introduced to the report writing format. SWH and trade students use different laboratory guides. Although both guides cover the same content, they differ in format. Each experiment in SWH is preceded by a case or problem and no objective are given, in contrast to trade. In many cases, the experimental procedure is changed to get a more in-depth investigation, and the whole experiment is written with more emphasis on investigation. In the session that follow, there is a pre-lab period where students work together in small groups and of between 4 to 6 people to come up with initial question for each experiment. During this stage, teaching assistants and supervisors ensure that the activity is going well. The questions are then discussed about which ones to eliminate, modify, and reduce the number of questions to 2 or 3. Students then work together in small groups of no more than 6 to conduct the experiment and collect relevant data. Students remain in the same laboratory group for the entire semester. Procedures are provided for most experiments, but sometimes students are asked to create their own procedures or modify the procedures provided. After completing the laboratory work, students perform calculation for data processing. Data from all groups are displayed in one spreadsheet to allow students to individually identify trends and anomalies, make claims, provide evidence to support those claims, and write individual reports using SWH writing format. Emphasis is placed on student-guided, inquiry-based activities, collaborative work, writing, and reflection. Having discussed the SWH format, we now move on to the traditional or trade format. Okay, each experiment in trade uses a conventional format that provides the detailed objectivities, background, tools, and materials to be used, and procedures to be followed, as well as some questions to be answered at the end of each session. Each session begins with a pretest and laboratory explanation. The laboratory explanation discusses the theory, procedures, and safety issues associated with the experiment. After the laboratory explanation, students carried out the procedures described, either individually or in groups. In the same way, the data collected is expected to be the same for all students. Teaching assistants assist students in setting up equipment and focus more on the procedure. After completing the laboratory work and data collection, students are usually free to leave the laboratory. If the time allocated for the session has not expired when the laboratory work and data collection are complete, students are encouraged to remain in place and complete the worksheet report through data and calculation. Usually, during this time, there is no communication between students. In the trade groups, less emphasis is placed on students with inquiry-based activities, and collaborative work. We now discuss data collection method and data analysis. Student critical thinking skills were assessed using the pencil and paper version of the California Critical Thinking Skill Test, or CCCST. The CCCST Form 2000, which is the latest version of this test, was administered to students as a pre-test and post-test. The pre-test was conducted in the laboratory in the first 2 weeks of the first semester, while the post-test was conducted in the last 2 weeks of the second semester. Students were given 45 minutes to complete the test. This test was chosen because it has the advantage of being the only instrument available that 1. Measures cognitive and metacognitive skills associated with critical thinking. 2. Is based on a consensus definition of critical thinking. And 3. Has been evaluated for validity and reliability in this measurement of critical thinking at the college level. These features ensure that the CCCST from 2000 is the most appropriate choice to measure critical thinking skills in this study. The test consists of 34 multiple choice items and scores them on 5 scales, namely analysis and interpretation, evaluation and explanation, inference, deduction, and induction. The total score of critical thinking skills is also reported, according to Fashion et al. 2013. To score high overall, test takes must be in core reasoning skills, including analysis, interpretation, inference, evaluation, explanation, induction, and deduction. The total critical thinking skills score predicts the capacity for success in education. Validity and reliability testing yield alpha values that rank from 0.7 to 0.84. The test has been used extensively in a variety of science, including nursing, engineering, and science. Okay, let's move on the data analysis section. The data was analyzed using SPSS statistic 17.0. A paired sample t-test which was conducted using students' overall critical thinking post-test scores to determine if there was a significant difference between the SWH and threat group critical thinking. Effect size were calculated using Cohen's d. Numeral cutoffs and ranking were also used in the analysis to more clearly illustrate the changes in students' overall critical thinking. But cutoffs and rank were determined based on the CCCST sample for 4-year college and universities in the unit status. Okay, the next presentation will be explained by Jeniar.
Okay, in this section, we will present the main finding from the statistical analysis conducted. The use of a 95% confidence interval significates a significance level of 0.05 for all analysis. We assess the normality of pre-test scores for each group using the Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. Significance values greater than 0.05 result in the rejection of the hypothesis that scores for both the SWH and third group did not come from a normal population. The results to be present are threefold. The first is critical thinking pre- and post-test scores. The second, critical thinking mind gain scores. And the third, recommended critical thinking cut scores. For the first, critical thinking pre- and post-test scores, no significant difference exists in pre-test critical thinking scores between the threat and SWH group. The M equals to 12.61, the SD equals to 3.15. However, Post-test scores showed the significant disparity with the SW group. The M equals to 15.90. The SD equals to 3.93, displaying notably higher scores than the third group. M equals to 13.60, SD equals to 3.81, indicating a strong positive impact of SWH on overall critical thinking. T equals to 2.982 and P equals to 0.005. D equals to 0.59. And then the second is critical thinking mind gain scores. The analysis indicates that the SWH group has a gain more than 2.5 times that of third group as shown in table 2, where the red responses SWH and the purple response rate. This gain considered a strong effect by Fakiran et al. 2013, with an increase of 2 points or more. As per the calculated effect size, confirms the strong impact of SWH. The SWH group moved up by 20% from the 22nd to the 42nd, while the third group only experienced a 7% increase from 22nd to 29th. The third recommended critical thinking cut source. The table 3 provides crucial values from interpreting the total scores reflection critical thinking abilities from the CCTST from 2000 trials. The pretest outcome indicate the student in both SWH and third group possess critical thinking abilities ranging between weak and moderate level. However, the post-test results show that SWH third student nearly hit the middle of the moderate range, whereas the third group remains consistently within the moderate category. Discussion and conclusion. The core of this basic highlights several key points. First, it indicates that students utilizing the SWH science writing heuristic approach demonstrate enhanced critical thinking compared to their traditional counterpart, aligning with previous research findings. The SWH approach, integrating writing, inquiry, collaboration, and reflection, is seen as effective in nurturing critical thinking skills. Additionally, the text acknowledged that even third students exhibited slight improvement in critical thinking, potentially due to academic engagement and some activities related to critical thinking. However, limitations within threat methodology such as limited opportunities for reflection in inquiry during lab session might explain their comparatively similar gain in critical thinking. The overall weak pretest scores suggest that some students enter university without the expected critical thinking skills, emphasizing the need for early emphasis on critical thinking development. The PACE strongly advocates for intentional effort to teach and incorporate critical thinking elements, especially in university curricula, as it is crucial for success in higher education and workforce. And it concludes by stressing the importance of interface like the SWH, impressing that intervention designed to cultivate critical thinking skills are essential at all levels of higher education. Moreover, it highlights in the potential Moreover, it highlights the potential of well-structured intervention, such as the SWH, for fostering critical thinking within laboratory settings.